here after a New England offseason?
Yeah, actually, it got a little toasty today, especially with that rain. So I had a little humidity, but got a little nice little sweat in.
Is today at all like the last day of school a little bit?
It definitely kind of is, but I think we're more sad than happy. Never want football to end, but it'll be good to have a break to kind of regroup, refresh, and get prepared for the season.
What do you do in this 6 weeks or whatever it is to kind of refresh but also stay ready?
You got to stay working out. That's obviously one. You can't come into camp out of shape. But I mean, you definitely could take some time. Take some weekends, go on a couple of vacations.
Were you wondering what it would be like here, fitting back in here, or did you know I've done it? It's just going to be like I never left, or how would you describe the return?
I wouldn't say I was at all worried about how I was gonna fit in when I got back. I was gone for however long, but I still talked to a lot of the guys in the locker room, still hung out with a lot of guys in the locker room, and kind of just picked up where I left off.
What does it mean to you when all the players saying that as soon as you entered the locker room, they were so excited to see you bring such a presence? What is it like to hear that?
It means a lot. It means a lot. And I definitely work to be that guy, and so just it being recognized, it means a lot.
In terms of being that guy, like, how would you characterize that presence? And you guys talk about it all the time about who you are in the locker room.
I mean, the main thing is we're gonna have fun, but we're gonna work. We're gonna get to work. We're gonna be taking steps forward, but we gotta have fun doing it.
How have you seen Dak progress from the very beginning when you came and then to where he is now, just as a player, person, leader, all of it?
I mean, he's just grown, all around, as a leader, as a person. I mean, he's a dad now, so, I mean, we're growing up, we're getting old. But, I'm really proud of Dak, just, how far he's came, and I know he's got even more left in him.
It's been a little bit, not too long, but since you were last in Oxnard, what are your thoughts about getting back out there?
I'm glad we're going to be out there in that cool weather by the ocean rather than here in that heat.
After being around in the running back room for a few days at least, I mean, can you kind of gauge what the depth is on the team at that position?
I mean, we got 8 backs right now, so plenty of depth. But we got a lot of guys, a lot of good young players that bring a lot of good things to the table, and I'm excited to get to work with them in camp and continue to help them develop.
What kind of things do you give to them and have been given to them?
8 years, however many carries, however many reps, however many blitz pickups, just the experience. I've seen just about everything. So, I mean, just give them a little bit of my experience and, any tidbit or nugget that could help them with their game.
How is your approach to
You've been seeing in a lot of Mavs games. You've been paying attention and supporting them through this run?
Oh, of course. Happy for the Mavs. I'm glad, they made it to the finals, and, I hope they do their thing.
How is your approach going into year 8 as far as your offseason conditioning differ from year 1, year 2, year 3?
I mean, the main thing is I just wasn't signed, so I was doing a lot of stuff on my own. It's a lot of stuff on my own. Definitely a lot harder when you're training and you don't necessarily know where you'll be or when you're gonna sign. So I'm definitely happy that he got that out the way early.
Are you ahead of where you were then? You know what I mean? Because last year at this time you're still waiting to figure out where you're gonna go. In terms of conditioning and how you feel and being ready to play.
I wouldn't necessarily say I'm ahead of where I was, just because I still was trying to have the same type of calendar, the same type of time clock as if like I was in an OTA. So I wouldn't say I'm ahead of where I was.
We always talk about physically your workout routine and everything, but do you eat a lot differently now in the off season than you did your first couple of years in the league?
Yeah, definitely got to. That metabolism definitely slowed down. Can't do as much Nick and Sam's as I want. But yeah, definitely gotta tighten up there.
Along those lines, what are the differences between how you prepare your body year 9 versus year 2 or 3?
Just gotta do so much more. My routine is is a lot more complex. Got a lot of new exercises and things to help me prep my knees, and so I'm ready to go. It definitely takes a little more to get warm and get ready for those practices in year 9.
You built up your knees. How much healthier and better do you feel now, away from that knee injury from a couple of years ago?
I definitely don't really feel much from it at all. I think it just, I had back-to-back years with just kind of unlucky injuries. But, making it through last year, pretty injury-free, knock on wood. I feel good going into this season.
Jerry said before he signed you that he still viewed you as a starting caliber running back in the NFL. How do you view your role now that you're back on the Cowboys?
I still view myself, as a starter in this league. But also, I got to take care of my body and make sure I'm fresh for when it matters. And so, what's that going to look like? I'm not necessarily sure, but we'll figure it out.
What does Britt mean to you? Every day you guys do that stretch and you end up with a hug when you're done. What's the relationship you guys have built over the years?
Man, Britt's family to me. Dealing with those knee injuries, he was there every step of the way. And, he was a guy that I always knew had my back and, even at times, protected me from myself. I want to be out there on that field. But, I really appreciate him just for being wanting the best for me, no matter what it is.
Mike has talked about this being a running back by committee. What does that look like for you? And you talked about being fresh and how do you approach a running back by committee more different than you've had in the past?
I don't know exactly what it looks like, but like I said, we'll see. I love football. I'm gonna do whatever it takes for me that I need to do to help this team win, and so, whatever that is.
The splitting carries with Tony and splitting carries in New England has prepared you for that type of role compared to where you were early in your career when you was getting 300-400 carries.
Exactly. Yes. Yes, it did. Yes.